Well, there I was. I'd just been to Leicester fruit market, where Gary Lineker's family have a stall, and I was just walking past this sort of alcovey bit, sort of undergroundy bit, and there was a bloke putting out, you know, the old pub tables with metal legs and a wooden round top. Well, he was putting out tables, and I looked, and he looked at me, went, "Oh, hello Mark." I said, "Oh, hello." Turned out to be none other than David Coverdale. "You what?" I hear you say. "Yep." And he said, "Do you want to join me for a drink?" I said, "Yeah, okay." And then suddenly, as we were sat there, some other bloke came out with a pint in his hand. None other than Robert Plant. What are the chances, eh? Well, obviously when I woke up it was all a dream. It hadn't really happened. But it's funny, isn't it? People's dreams just aren't interesting. Are they? Other people's dreams? It's like, "Oh, I had a dream about blah blah blah." Yeah, alright. What, you're gonna tell us? Anyway, I'll tell you snippets. But yeah, I had a dream. I had a drink with Robert Plant and David Coverdale. I don't often dream of famous people. That's why they're noticeable. I'm not the sort of person who does that. I'm not interested in fame, really. But I thought I'd talk about it here. Just a few things. Do you want to know any others? Well, stop listening now if you don't. Well, I remember there was another one where I was somewhere on the sea, and coming along the water, being pulled by two dolphins, actually two sharks, was none other than David Bowie. You know, with all the white horses around. Yeah, that was, you know, he died since, you know, it was after his death. Yeah, that's a funny one, isn't it? Now, one of my other really interesting ones, I'm not going to go into details of the dream, was of being with Jerry Halliwell. You may know her as Ginger Spice or Jerry Horner. We were in Watford, and she was showing me around Watford for some reason, you know, where she grew up and everything. I mean, what does a mind do to do that? Oh, sad you're gone, little tree, or big tree rather. Well, we're in the sunlight. No, we're not. There you go, there it is. I have had a dream about a similar one with Courtney Love, her of Hole and Kurt Cobain fame, and we were, for some reason, she was in a bed, so, you know, like a hospital, you know, a convalescing bed, just sort of sat up in white. And anyway, she sort of got up and, oh no, there's another one down. two must have gone down quite close to each other in time. Oh, it's sad when that happens. See what I mean about all these dead trees? It's not making sense. Anyway, yeah, I remember we were walking arm in arm and we came out of this building that she was in and then down these steps. Like, they were quite, not grand, but you know, they were quite wide steps. Now, one of my strangest ones was dreaming of a film star, an actor called David Niven. Now this one was bizarre. There's so many trees down. It's beyond, you know, it is remarkable. It is, you know, it's not a good thing, is it? And yes, anyway, with Mr. Niven, we were in a light aircraft that had about 8 passengers in it. We were crammed in, actually. It wasn't just 8 passengers, it was 8 crammed in passengers flying above this cityscape. And something was wrong with the plane. And he came up with an idea of what we needed to do to be safe. Anyway, I think we both ended up jumping out of the plane together. It's always bizarre, isn't it? Dreams like that. And one that I had recently, in recent years, and this is something that was weird. I mean, of all the people to imagine in my dream, it wouldn't be him. I was in a pub, and there was a gig had just happened, and I was standing near a sort of back entrance place, door, and along walking towards me came none other than Paul McCartney. And he saw me, he said, "Which is the back way out? I've got to get out." I said, "Here." He said, "Oh, thanks." So I opened the door and out he went. And if I can caveat this, I'm not a Beatles fan. I'm not. There are some, I mean, I love the White Album, I'll be honest. The White Album I think's great. A couple of tracks I don't like, but most of it I do. And if, you know, in my radio broadcasting, if you're going to do an A to Z of Beatles songs, you have to play Revolution number 9. That is one of my favourite Beatles songs. It's great. It is, you know, isn't that the day that noise started? The genre of music called noise? I would say so. I have had other dreams. Some of them have been a bit not very clear. Like, for example, I remember being in a swamp, on a swamp boat. I mean, that's not even something that comes into my... Oh, this is the bit of the wood I like, isn't it? I've been up there earlier. That's in another video. Maybe it won't be up when this is edited, I'm sure. And on this swamp boat was a kind of bands playing. It was full of rock stars, rock musicians. And 2 of them that I did chat to were John Jacques Burnell and Jet Black of the Stranglers, who were on it. I have a little feeling there may have been that Robert Smith might have been on there as well. But I mean, you know, that's a dream. I'm like, what's that about? That's not in my realm of dreams. Now, another one that I do remember that I thought was funny. I was in this, oh look at this is very swampy. I guess the spring is coming down here. Let's say hello. Hello. Now this other, one of my dreams was, I don't know what was happening, but Sid James came up to me and punched me. Sid James? I'm not even a fan of Carry On films. Where do they come from? You know, what goes on in people's minds that they can have bizarre dreams of people they're not even interested in? Anyone got any theories on that? I mean, other things, I have dreamt about Candia and Tony of Incubus Succubus. They've been in my dreams. That was quite interesting. I was on a sort of wooden veranda, but it was a very long wooden veranda that ran alongside the sea or some water. And when I was chatting to them for a while, I actually had another, no, I was just chatting to Candia actually. And then I had another dream about going to this house and Tony was in it. You probably don't know who they are, these people. If you know Incubus Succubus, then you do. And I remember going to this house and Tony was in there. So we sort of hung out for a bit and chatted and got on very well, if I remember rightly. There's fencing up here, that's looking like, oh, I don't know what that's for, that's because all the fencing bins are in this bit. Oh, look at that. That's quite a peak, isn't it? I think at some point I'm going to have to go back up the hill somehow. Well, I don't know when I'm going to do that. I think we've got to go a little bit more round maybe, but I will have to head up back unless I've missed the path. Did you notice it? I hate these fences, absolutely hate them. I dream of when we don't have any and there are no fences and no one's greedy and we all live in harmony. Talking of dreams, I've just come through that and that is as deep as it looks, but I realised what the fence is about. There's a yawning chasm there. Well, now one of my earlier famous people dreams, I'm not sure where that's going. That looks like, no, I don't think we're up there, are we? Although it looks tempting, doesn't it? It looks tempting, but we'll carry on this way. It's very tempting, that. But no, I decided I'm going to go this way. That's the trouble with not being able to go all the directions. I can't go through that via another way necessarily, because if I go along here I'm missing it completely. Anyway, the fence has gone now. Phew. Yes, another dream. This is earlier in my life. I was still an adult, when, of all the things, I was at Bruce Forsyth's birthday party. I mean, he's an entertainer for sure. Now, but I'm not a massive fan or anything. Where does that come from? Anyway, I remember there was like a hostess's trolley of trifles and cakes, and then he came over to me and he said, here's Anthea. Go on, off you go and have some fun with her. So, well, rude not to. So I did. I went off with Anthea and had some fun somewhere. Don't remember that bit. I was too busy being in shock, thinking, why's Bruce given me his wife? And how can he? What's going on here? No, I don't think, I mean, I can't even tell you just how much I'm not interested in lots of people. Here's another one. I had a dream. I was at the house where I grew up, actually, and in the front room was Lulu. Well, I have absolutely no interest in Lulu whatsoever. And I remember my mum turning to me, and this is like my mum, and just turned to me and went, "God, she's so full of herself, isn't she?" Not in a Les Dawson voice. She said it in her voice. I'm just putting the expression into that. God, this is really horrible, walking this bit. The things I do for you, cool. I mean, that's a horrible bit of mud to be walking in. I wouldn't want to be doing it, so I'm not. So, but I do have to concentrate here. Lovely with all the holly, it gives it the green. You know, there are woodlands in the world of similar places, like in Russia, that well, they don't have the green like we do. Now, this is a green and pleasant land for a reason. A bit of red there. All these signs are just telling everyone where, you know, that this is a permissive path and we can walk here, and I'm hoping that I am going to miss that rain. My forecast didn't give me any rain at all, so hopefully I will miss it. Basically about keeping to the footpath and keeping your dogs under control, which should be done as a matter of respect and course. If you can't keep your dog under control, you shouldn't have a dog, let alone bring it into the countryside. Some of us don't find it funny that someone's dog jumps up at us or barks at us or strains at the leash in a way that makes me think that you are unable to control it. And this has happened. I had to stand between my daughter and a dog that was straining so hard the woman was pulling at its lead, and I have no idea why. because normally I get on with animals. I get on with dogs and cats and, you know, other animals, but they see me from a distance. But there are one or two that take exception to me for some reason. Not sure why. Maybe the fear, their owner's own fears. Don't know. And there have been other dreams I've had with, you know, people in, but I can't remember the dreams. George Cole and Dennis Waterman of Minder fame, they were in one. Don't know what that was about. Well, there's the sunlight gone. Now, we're nearly at the end of my dream reciting. I hope you're all still with me. Okay, well, before I get on to the curious ones, one of my rather frightening dreams was when I was coming down in my bus, coming down a steep hill out of Devizes, a steep, narrow ravine, steep-sided gorge, going at hell of a speed, but I wasn't driving. In the driving seat was none other than Marty Feldman. And the bus is going this way and we're driving down madly, and he's turning around looking at me. He's turning around looking at me with this mad grin and laugh on his face. I'm like, watch the road, watch the road. Yeah, don't know why I dream about him. There you go. Like I said, I'm not interested in him either. And now we come on to some recent political ones. The first of which was when I met the Donald of Trumpington and the Bozza of Johnson. They were at a school near Bath, or Bath. They were at a school and I met them both. And, well, the Bozza was, as you'd expect, you know, but the Donald, he was actually very nice in my dream. He was very nice, he was quiet, he wasn't full of himself, he wasn't spouting rubbish, he was very kind, he was very generous, and he was very open, which I thought was interesting. But the other very interesting thing about the whole dream was that I had it before either of them were elected. Now that's a curious thing in itself, isn't it? I don't know what that was about. I did worry because the first time I had a dream like that was when I met the Vlad of Putin, and I met him, and he was all right in my dream. He was okay, you know, as a man meeting face to face on his own without having any need to posture or, you know, make up for any lack of potency, shall we say. But I dreamt about him before the invasion, the annexing of Crimea, in fact. Just before, about sometime in the next year it happened. And I did think that They were curious dreams for someone who has no interest in politics. I don't think politics is ever going to achieve anything unless it's radically changed. Wow. Yeah, this wasn't in my thingy, but there you go. Oh, hello. Wow. Now, this is telling me that this has been quarried. Stone has come out of here, hasn't it? I don't know, I could be wrong, but it's looking like other areas that have been quarried, and I know further along, well, I know further on that escarpment, I know it's been quarried. Ooh, yeah. This is definitely quarried. No, yeah, it has. This is what you have when it's been quarried. See, it's not the quarrying, it's the nature taking over the quarrying that I like. Sadly, it has to happen. So there you go. I could reel off a list of other people I've dreamt about, but they were only in my dreams. There was a disembodied head of Steve Harley, and it's possible that I dreamt that around the time he died. Again, not a massive fan, not a fan even. So yes, thank you for coming along, thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope it's sparked off things in your brain about your own dreams. I've still got quite a way to go. I've got to go behind that man, so I may be filming another video. Possibly. Who knows? So yes, don't forget, like, subscribe, share, comment, check out the links below, check out my website, donate if you want to. Always gratefully received. You know, I just live my life paying my rent, having food in the fridge and a little bit of heating when I need it, and obviously, you know, enough to get me to work and, yeah, drive in other places, keep my vehicle going, and yeah, I don't ask for much, and I believe that's the way it should be. So anyway, join me next time. Ta-da.